All right, so this is a quick demo for you on project 3 on space. So I'd asked everybody to take some photographs of possible compositions focusing on architectural elements. So the idea is to take photographs of things that are not head-on fronts of buildings, you're not parallel to walls, you're looking at corners, you're looking at maybe the ceiling details, stairwells, things where you might have interesting possibilities for some drawings to make. So I'm going to pull back a little bit. So I took about a dozen photographs to work from. So I printed them out here at the size that they were taken. But what I want to do now is to find within them smaller sections that are my 4 by 5 inch for our idea generator. So let's bring this over here and take a look at this example here. So I've already used Photoshop to go in and to size this smaller section of this overall larger composition. So that's probably the fastest, easiest way to do that, and you're perfectly welcome to do it that way. The other choice, of course, is to print them out and to physically cut them with scissors. You could trace a section using a 4 by 5 inch rectangle that you've traced out. You can then transfer those designs onto your preliminary exercise page. So that's what's going on over here. Brighten that up just a little bit. So here I have a tracing that I made of this source image. This is cropped down to 4 by 5 inches from its original. I traced it, as you can kind of see there. And now I'm just transferring it to my preliminary exercise page using a piece of transfer paper. This is just carbon on one side, the same stuff that's in your drawing pencils. Blank on the other side, the tracing on top. And then if you simply trace that with a pen, it will start to transfer the lines to the surface below. It's a pretty quick way of transferring an image. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you can see how that's starting now to transfer the lines from that design onto this surface. You could also, of course, freehand it. And that's what I'm doing over here. It's just kind of using my eye to freehand sketch this selection. And so forth. So ultimately, you're going to end up with selections of 12 portions of interesting views and angles on some architectural source photographs. Oop, wrong way. I wanted to back up here. So you start to get a sense of what my overall preliminary exercises might look like You could cut and paste these physically from printouts. You could freehand sketch them. You can trace them. But what we're looking for is 12 interesting compositional options that we can play with as we evolve this design into its next phase. So this is your preliminary exercise for project 3. The full-on project is going to ask us to select 3 or 4 of these possibilities to combine together to create a surrealistic image, sort of impossible architecture that's based off of our observation of spatial relationships of interesting sections of architecture that we have photographed for the preliminary exercise. So I'll upload a PowerPoint that includes some examples by some famous artists that do something similar to what we're doing as inspiration to get you started. So have fun with this. Feel free to use digital cameras. Feel free to use your photo editing skills, or to do it traditionally. You could hand draw all of these elements. It's completely up to you. But I do still want to see these 12 options from everybody. That's your goal for preliminary exercises number 3.